All righty. Hello, everyone. Incredible greetings. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Hola, hola, hola. Incredible greetings, everyone. So we are going to vectorize a file. And I'll go through as far as what vectorize means and all that kind of good jazz. In just a moment, just sharing this out, waiting for the notifications and things to go out. Hello, hello, hello. All right, so first, let me ask you guys while I'm doing what I need to do on my end. Excuse me. Let me ask you guys, what is your understanding of what it means to vectorize an image? What does that mean to you? What do you understand? Do you know what the benefits are to having a vector version of a file? Thank you so much for checking in on both channels. Woohoo! Appreciate it. Good afternoon. I'm here to learn vectorizing from the professor. She says, I have no idea. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Hey, hey, hey. Tease for the confident woman. Hello, how art thou? No, I don't. Okay, so we don't understand what it means to vectorize or what the benefits are so far from the answers that I've seen. So the question on the table is, what does it mean to vectorize and how is it beneficial? Why is it beneficial to have a vectorized version of an image? Okay, to have cut lines, okay. So having cut lines will mean that you are able to do what to it? Okay, so Don says to be able to change the colors, okay, to be able to take it apart. Okay, so vectorizing means tracing the file, then fill in with your own colors. It's now an SVG. All right, clean, crisp lines and be able to customize your image. That is a great one. I'm loving that one, Russ. Hello, welcome in. To be able to switch it up, okay? All right. These are all some good answers. So we're just waiting for the broadcast to go. Let's get a few more people on. Make sure that you guys like the video. Give the video a thumbs up. Tag a friend. Just say hello. Drop a hey, how you doing? Hello on the broadcast. That's going to help the distribution of it. If you enjoy my content, you'll want to help your girl out. Make sure that you guys like the video over here. Double tap the screen. Share it out. Tag a friend. Leave a comment. all engagements truly do help the platform. It makes it to where I can continue to do these free trainings and educate you guys on these things that are going to help you in your creative journey, in your entrepreneurship journey, whether you are doing this for personal, professional, if you want it to be a side hustle, just to be able to make a little pocket money, a little mad money, like need something real quick. I need to be able, like need some money real quick. I need to drop some products, whatever your goal is in subscribing to, following, watching a content creator such as myself that teaches on design, that teaches on different processes for making shirts, custom items like buttons, drinkware, hoodie, like any type of apparel, party favors. There has to be a reason why you have come across my platform. You have shown an interest in these creative things, in these crafty things. I know I have to use that word, even though I'm not big on that word, because at this point now I'm not really a full-on craft. I do crafts. I do crafting things, but those are normally like for my personal use. But when it comes to business, I just think that that's when you have to change your terminology. So whether you are a crafter, so I'm not going to say like there aren't crafters that follow me. A lot of my audience are those who want to monetize it. So whether you are a crafter or you are someone that wants to monetize it, there is a reason why you clicked on, this video, why I came up on your page. So in order to continue to receive this information free in sessions like this, make sure that you guys do engage, okay? So someone else says to make image have cut lines throughout and not just the outer edge to make it scalable, okay? Well, this one is a chief. Well, yeah, Indians, but it's a chief head. Oh, you don't. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry if you don't like those types of humans, but we love all humans over here, Mallory. So you may not want to just click off if that's not your cup of tea, but we enjoy all humans over here. Okay. Instead of saying crafters, what word do you use? Once you are someone who wants to monetize this, you are a business that provides either customized, personalized, keepsake, novelty. So you are a business at that point. You can be a custom creator, custom decorator, but you're no longer a crafter when you are taking the steps to make it a business. Crafting and in that world, it serves a purpose to be to start off as just a crafter. That's normally a word that's associated with it being a hobby. And it's for your personal use. You're not worried about making money on it. When you are a crafter, you're going to spend more money than you are going to make it because at that point, you're doing it to give it away as a gift or just to give it away, just to exchange it. But once you want to move into a place of monetizing it, it is important to change your mindset because if you continue to think of it as crafts and others think of it as a craft, that's when you're not going to be as confident in your pricing. You're going to allow people to nickel and dime you. So it's a word that a lot of people use and is how you kind of start off. You started off as crafting and now you want to turn it into a business. Once it's a business, it is important to get out of that mindset. Not just for yourself, but for your consumers as well. Because if they just see it as a craft in their mind, they don't see it as a lot of work and they see it as arts and crafts and they don't put value on it. What you do to make a shirt is the same thing that any major brand does. Making a shirt is making a shirt. I don't care if it is with vinyl, if it is with embroidery, if it is with screen print, any type of printing. These major companies are using the exact same methods on a larger scale. Do they call it crafting? Or is it that we're thinking crafting because we have a smaller machine? And it's a lot to it, but I'm definitely one where I don't necessarily use the word crafter or craft business. Craft business for me would be your Michaels, your Hobby Lobbies, and things like that that sell craft supplies. All right. So let me introduce myself. I'm not really happy with the numbers over here. Okay, wait, what's going on over here? I ain't really feeling these numbers right now. Hold on. I know it's Sunday and all, but oh, look at my babies. Look at MJ and Chrissy. I came across my mom's Facebook page and a memory came up of my son and my niece. Oh, my pukas. All right, why can't I get to my page, Jesus? I just want to get to my page. I don't want to be over here. Hold on. Is it because... Okay, there we go. Hey, how are you doing? Alrighty. So make sure you guys, like I said, continue to like the video. It definitely helps out the broadcast. All right, so my name is Shakia the Professor. I am part owner along with my husband and my family in a company that is HSINK365. HSINK is the parent company of our brand, Honestly Speaking. If you are someone that is into sublimation or you are considering getting into sublimation, we sell the absolute best sublimation paper, especially for beginners, because all of these different rules that they have when they're teaching about sublimation, we eliminate the majority of them with our paper. Okay. And you're able to be more efficient. So it is great for someone that is a beginner. If you are someone that, can't right now get like the top of the line equipment as far as like heat presses. If your heat press might be on the down and out and it's not quite getting to 400 degrees, 385. With our sublimation paper, you can sublimate as low as 365 degrees is what we advertise, because that sounds cute. It looks good in advertising and marketing and branding. It's a great number, right? It has so many different meanings. However, we have shown demonstrations where we have sublimated as low as 350 degrees, as low as 325 degrees, 315 degrees. You may have to press it for a little bit longer, but it means that you don't have to have the best equipment out there and still get absolutely amazing professional results. So if you have not checked out our paper, go over to our website and check that out. We also have the ink for you as well that you are able to put in any Epson printer. I have been teaching for the past 8 years or so, Silhouette Studio. I am not affiliated with Silhouette America in any way, shape, or form. This is a software that I genuinely find very, 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 very helpful and useful, especially to those who are just starting out in this creative journey. You do not have to have a Silhouette Cameo machine, a Silhouette Portrait machine, a Curio machine, a Mint, Alpha. Hey, they didn't do a release on the Alpha. I wonder if they're not doing the 3D printer anymore. I just thought about that. But you don't have to have any of those machines in order to use this software. This software is great for beginners. It has a lot of tools and functionalities of the more robust ones. Because of that word crafting and craft machines, there are a lot of people who will count out and say that Silhouette Studio is not a professional designing software. Oh, I'm a professional. I don't use Silhouette Studio. That's not what the professionals use. That's a bunch of bull crap. Okay? It's a bunch of bull crap, because the tools are the tools and the functions are the functions. Now, are the other programs more intuitive? Do they offer more things like having warps and perspectives and just different tools to be able to draw it out and create thicker line? You can use a Wacom pad or a drawing tablet. Yes. But as far as tools, the basic tools that any graphic designer will use, no matter the software, they're in here. It allows you to customize things down to what I like to call component level, because I was in the Air Force and I was ground radio maintenance and I used to look at schematics. So for me to be that detailed, like you can change your edit points and move them, make them curves, make them corners and do all sorts of things. You can trace. There are actually things in Silhouette Studio that other softwares don't even offer that's going to make that one little part a lot easier for you. Okay, exactly. And that's a word I use all the time. It is a really robust software. Like, it has a lot of features. You just have to know how to use those features. Okay. So I'm always advocating for this because unlike other softwares where you have to pay a monthly fee, you can go to Silhouette America right now, download this, and you can start to create custom things and to create custom designs. If you are new to business, I don't, I'll say it, depending on what your business is and what you make, like if you specialize in candles or soaps, you specialize in you are a mobile car detailer, if you are someone who is a caterer, or you just make, you not say just make, but you are a great cook, things like that, there's really no, like, you'll think there's no need for me to ever learn a graphic designing software. But if you are starting out and you may not have the funds to have an outside company make you a simple, I'm not going to say logo, but just something with your name on it. Just type out your name. If you want to create a basic business card layout because what's on Vistaprint doesn't work for you, you can do these things yourself. You don't have to be the person that's now a designer, but knowing some sort of software can help out any business. It does not matter what it is. This is not just for someone who wants to make shirts, wants to make mugs, to be able to sell to consumers. You may need to have some promotional products for yourself, and you don't have a really big marketing and promotion budget. So you need to make them for yourself. It is important to understand these types of softwares, and this is something that is free. And if you need to unlock additional features, like to be able to save that file that you created for yourself so that you can submit it to a company that can print it for you, you're going to make a one-time investment for the business edition so that you can save that as an SVG or a PNG or a JPEG file. I'm not big on those. I prefer to save it as a PDF, but hey, you have that ability. Okay. So I like just teaching. I love teaching this software. It is great for beginners of, like, no matter what walk you're in, it is great for beginners. All right. Now, I was approached about creating designs for a senior class, and I have used this particular image several times in a lot of different designs. But it's not the greatest. This is a chief ed that they've been using for quite some time. And I don't know if anyone has the original vector. I've looked high and low for it. I've vectorized this before, but it's on my laptop. I don't have my laptop here. It becomes a great teaching moment. I don't mind doing it over again. So when you vectorize something, this is what's called a bitmap, or for some people, they'll say like a rasterized image. And that means that it's basically for print. I can trace and detach this, and I double clicked on it. So I have edit points around the edges, which means it is now contoured. I can do a print and cut on this. There's no background to this. So I'm able to use it digitally, put it on. If I want to put it on a pink background, a teal background, I don't have white around it. If I want to cut it, I'm able to do that. If I want it to be a specific size, because I have traced and detached this down or remove the background down to where it's just to the image, I can dial in an exact size. Depending on how I'm using this, it will work. If it's really small, you're not going to really see the pixelation, the blurriness in it, and things like that. Okay. But if I want to blow this up, if I wanted to put this on a big, like a flag of some sort for the cheerleaders, for the football team, whoever, if I wanted to put this big enough on a shirt, it's going to be a little distorted. Okay. If I wanted to make this something, we're about to approach breast cancer awareness month. Everyone, I mean, from the NFL, like professional sports teams, to youth teams, to high school teams, to college teams, to businesses. Breast Cancer Awareness Month is huge. If you have Photoshop and things like that, yes, you can go in and do with your paint bucket, you select the area, you can change certain things, or you can tell it, okay, select all of the areas that are orange and we're going to make it this color. You can make certain changes like that in a software like Photoshop, but you're still going to have that pixelation to it. By vectorizing it, it allows you in a bunch of different softwares to select just that area and put the exact color on it. When you go into Photoshop and you select it, you'll have to either do a new layer and you're going to have that be like the color that's on top. But if you just change the color, you sometimes can't use like an exact hex code or color code because it's going to interact with the color underneath, especially if you do just like a color overlay. So it just really depends on how you do it. That's the story for another day when it comes to those softwares. But when you vectorize it, it allows you to scale it. So like someone said, it makes it scalable. SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphic. It is the simplest form of a vector file. If you go and you use like an EPS file or even an AI file, an Illustrator file, they're a little bit more complex in how you can save them, but they're still vectorized. Same thing with the PDF files. They are a little bit more complex, but each part will be its own individual section. You're able to break that up into layers. Photoshop does have layers, but it has pixelated layers. Although this will look like it's all as one, when you have those individual sections, that's another word of saying layers. You'll be able to click on each individual part and be able to change it. If you wanted to make each one of these feathers a different color, you wanted to make it rainbow, you would be able to change that. You can scale it up because it's not made of, it's a flood of color. You can make that, it can be as small as a half an inch all the way up to 50 inches, 50 feet, and it will never distort. However, when it comes to something that is saved in a pixel format, a PNG, a JPEG, depending on how it was designed and saved, will determine how large you can actually make that, how large you can scale it up. Now, if you are someone that works with cutting machines and things of that nature, yes, making it a vector file means that you are now able to cut every individual part, whether it is from adhesive vinyl, if it is from heat transfer vinyl, if it is from paper, you are able to cut each part and layer it if you want, or just to be able to separate it, okay? But vectorizing is not just an SVG. SVG is a file format of a vectorized file, something that is broken down and you have cut lines. Having an SVG also makes it easier for laser cut, like for laser printers or laser cutters. Also, when it comes to embroidery, when you have those individual sections, even if you have, like you submit a PNG, they still have to create those outlines to then create those stitch lines. So it is beneficial across the board to have a vectorized version of an image, a logo, just the name. There's a lot of benefits to it, okay? Now, there are several free and paid PNG or JPEG or PDF to SVG. SVG is a common term because, like I said, it is the most simplest form. It is a term that is common amongst crafters. And they're, we're always saying, I need the SVG version. People think that that means that you can just completely customize it. Well, if you had the raw Photoshop version of a file, you can customize that just as well, just as much as you could customize an SVG. Everything cannot be made into an SVG file. There are a lot of free converter sites out there. And depending on the image, depending on the quality of the image, they work really well to isolate those colors and turn them into paths. There's going to be other times where they simply do not work. This is one of those cases where those conversion sites do not work, and you have to have the skills to be able to do this yourself. So I'm going to drag in one of the ones that was done. So this came from a site, and I'm going to blow this up, move this over. So it has like the white background. I'm going to ungroup it. I can move the white. So everything is, you're able to select and move it around. Okay. So I'm just going to come through here and I'm going to delete this. Okay. Hold on one second. I was responding to some messages over here. Now, all of these, technically, it can be removed. They can be moved around. The issue is the quality of it. Just because it makes it to where you can now, move these things around, you can now change the color on it, doesn't mean that it's going to be the best quality. So if we take a closer look at things like the lip right here, but then we look at the one over here where it's more rounded, it made it where it's pointed. We click in here, so we can probably move this area, but see now, well, let's see. That was connected. This was like, it's a whole lot going on. So depending on how many colors you choose, it can be a whole lot of going on. Some things are going to be pointed versus rounded. Some things are going to be connected, and it's going to be best that they are not connected. And this was just one example. I'm going to show another one. Let me just pull this over. No, that's the one that you can't see it. So I'm going to bring this one over. And I was trying to zoom in on it, but hopefully you can see that things are running into each other. There's like gray here. It's still not the cleanest version, and you would still have to go in and do some cleanup to it. Here is another one. And you'll see that there's like white around the orange area. It's like gray around here. And if you take away the colors, like the number of colors, hold on, I'm trying to zoom back out over here. So if I take this and eliminate some of the colors and then go generate, it doesn't improve it, right? It's not changing it and making it better. So you have to know how to do this yourself. If you are someone with an iPad, and you have Procreate, or you have any type of software where you can use your iPad as a drawing tablet, you can create layers and then draw it out. If you have a steady hand and you're able to draw, you'll be able to trace those areas, fill them with color. Now, they may not be, depending on the software that you're using, they may not have an option to save that as an SVG, but at least if you can actually trace them out to get cleaner lines. So someone else mentioned that it's to get a cleaner version of the image. If you're able to get those cleaner lines, you then can take those and like as a solid, solid one, convert that into an SVG, whether you trace it or you use one of these free softwares, and it's going to give you better results because you've created cleaner lines that are not jagged, and it can pick it up a little bit better. Okay. Also, you can go old school where you can print this out in black and white, take the density down where it's really light, go over it with a black Sharpie in key areas, and then scan that or take a picture, and then you can trace it in any of the vector-based softwares such as Silhouette Studio, Illustrator, Affinity, Corel Draw, Inkscape, things like that. Okay. I'm going to show you how to do this in Silhouette Studio. You don't have to have the upgraded version to make this quote unquote an SVG. Once you vectorize it in Silhouette Studio, you're able to save that as a Silhouette file. You're able to cut that. You're able to print that. You're able to save it in different formats. If you only have the free version, there is a converter site where you can convert that Silhouette file into an SVG file, and it is not going to give you those crazy results. It's going to change it exactly how you have. It's just changing the file extension because it's already vectorized in Silhouette Studio. You're just changing it from a .studio 3 file to a .svg file. Okay. So on my Facebook page, I posed the question. Looking at this, we have 1, 2, 3, technically 4 colors. How long do you think it would take to vectorize this and make each of these colors a vector element? How long do you think it would take, and what tools do you think we would need in order to convert this into a vector file? I'm enjoying the 30-day Silhouette Studio class, and I'm only on day 3. Yay! Professor, will you ever do videos on the Mint, or do you have any videos on the Mint? I don't. I've only created like two or three stamps with it. I agree. As a cyber trainer, I'm in the 30-day class, and I'm like jelly of things I didn't know. I'm telling y'all, I show you, Russ. You say like things that you didn't know. Some of the stuff that I'm showing in there, have you ever seen that in any of the YouTube videos you've come across? Let's see. Is the file you ungrouped a PNG? I'm sorry, I missed. No, that was an SVG file. I took it to a PNG to SVG converter. So that was an SVG file. You cannot ungroup a PNG. So the one that I was able to ungroup was a vector file, whether that would have been an SVG, a PDF, an Illustrator file, things like that. That was vector. This is the PNG version. No one wants to take a stab at how long it will take? How long do you guys think it will take to change all of these colors to a vector format? 20 minutes. 5 minutes to convert to an SVG. We're talking manually now, like me going in the system and using Silhouette Studio to convert it. So someone else says 1 hour, 15 minutes. No, it ain't going to take no 2 minutes. It's not a click of a button. You got to do some work. So it's not going to take 2 minutes. 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes. Okay. I'm not sure what tools you would use. 15 minutes. Okay. So that was the other question. What tools would I use? If you know a little bit about Silhouette, what tools do you think I would need in order to convert this into a vector file? So they said 5 minutes with tracing and compound paths. Okay. All right. So someone over here says trace. So I would only use trace. It would take me about 2 hours because I don't trace. All right. All right. If you are ready to go through the process of converting this into a vector file, let me see. Hold on. I was thinking compound path. Wouldn't you trace and detach? No, trace and detach only goes around the edges, and it allows for print and cut. It will not affect the inside parts at all. trace and detach only searches the outside edge and removes the background, whether it's white, colored, or transparent, so that you have a contour line or a cut line around the outside. Hold on one second. Okay. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Edit points. I was just gonna trace and remove, trace and release compound path, and then change the colors. Once you trace, it is vectorized. Okay. That's true to an extent. Very true to an extent. So y'all know I'm always going to do a duplicate, even though I don't really need to. We're going to do just the regular trace. So as a regular trace, if I adjust my threshold, so technically we are seeing all of the parts to this. And like some people said, you would, release your compounds and be able to change the colors. But this is a file that is not a high resolution file. So we're going to come here and we're going to hit trace, move this off to the side. I'm going to fill this in with some color. Okay. I want to zoom in so that you guys can see the quality of the trace. Okay. And then if we, like you guys said, release compound path, technically, yes, this is now vectorized. It is now technically a vector file because you're able to release it. You're able to ungroup it. You're able to change all of the colors. All right, because I'm able to do this, does this make this any better than what I had before? All right, so I'll even make this the exact same color here, the exact shade of brown here. Does this make this any better than what we had here? Okay, someone over here says no, no, wait, no. You have to use your edit points to do what? No, you have to work with the nodes. Yes, because you traced it. Yes, because you can manipulate the image better. Well, but that still means that this is no better. I'm able to technically, I can make this to where I can manipulate it. But as this stands, is it any better than the original image? How were you able to change the inside colors without changing the same color? I'm not sure what you mean by that. No need. Wait, need to close off areas? No, it looks exactly the same when you're just looking at it. Maybe internal offsets and edit points also to fix it. Okay. It's great that you guys are aware that there are ways to fix it, that this is not perfect, right? And in some cases, internal offsets definitely can work. Edit points can definitely work. And so here, and she said over here too, it's still not smooth. Exactly. It's still not crisp. There are a lot of bumpy lines to this. But unfortunately, there are some people who sell files where all they did was a simple trace, and then they're going to put that onto Etsy or their website. They're going to sell it, and you're going to look at that, and this is no bueno, right? So it's a couple things that you can do. Like some people said, to adjust the edit points. That's a lot of edit points, right? There are some tools within Silhouette Studio that's going to help, like you can do simplify, all right? So I did simplify on that, but I still have some bumps here. So I would have to go in and correct those. So now you can use the simplify button. Exactly. But it's not going to make it perfect. You still have to get comfortable with using your edit points because you're going to have to make adjustments. All right. There are times like, what if you wanted this to be a different color? It's connected. Technically, that shouldn't be. There should be a separation, but this has been used so many times and the quality has changed so many times to where there are going to be areas that are connected that maybe shouldn't be connected, areas that should be connected that aren't connected. Like there's a lot kind of going on with this. So this does give you a great starting point, but it's not the ending point. You have areas here where because of the way that it's traced, because of those transparent, like grayish pixels, like that distortion, you have the like this part here where it's not fully covering the white. You don't have defined corners on the outline. There is no smooth tool in Silhouette Studio. There is no smooth tool. You may be referring to something else, but this is also an issue. If we don't learn what the proper terminology is, what the proper name is for the tool, if you need to look for a video and you're putting in smooth tool, that's not what someone who is well versed in this, they're not going to label their videos smooth tool. So you're not going to find the information that you will need. It's important to understand the names of the tools and exactly what they do. So I'm pretty sure you mean simplify, but you have to know that proper terminology. That way, if you're looking through a class that you have paid for, if you're looking for a free video, if you're, wherever you're looking for that information at, you're looking for the right tool and how to utilize that tool, which is why my 30-day training is so important. I don't just teach you how to design or just go in there and it's like, okay, you're going to do this. I break down every tool, what their intended functions are, how you're going to be able to use them. It's important to know the tools. And even once you go to a new software, that knowledge is going to make learning that more robust software a lot easier because you're going to be past the basics and understand what different tools do, okay, and what different functions, what they do. All right. You change the outside color, then you change the inner group of compound password color. Did you hold the shift key? I have to fill in each individual release compound. Yes. So I group together and then I use my shift key to select and deselect. Yes. All right. So there's a lot that you can do here. I'm going to now show you guys something that is basically paid class worthy because I'm going to show you a simpler way of doing this. When it's full on color, how it's going to pick up on certain things is going to be a little bit harder. And because this is pixelated and there's so many different colors, when you adjust your threshold, it's going to be too many variables in there. So one of the things that you can do is utilize your image effects. This is why I say this is it, you know, it's kind of up there. It may not be, you know, the industry standard amongst like professional companies, but I've had people who use these professional ones and they see what I do in silhouette and they're like, oh damn, like I didn't know you can do that. And like what, like, because they'll say, oh, a craft program. It's not just a craft program. You have tools that are in the commercialized programs. So this is your image effects. Most people never look at their image effects. Technically, you can use the colorize and you can change the colors of certain parts of this and make it where it is for breast cancer. You're just changing things to pink because you're going to change the color on it. You're going to change the hue on it. All right. You can change the brightness of something or change the contrast on it. And sometimes adjusting those things before you trace can improve your trace. In our bachelor's program, once we get to the second half of the program, we're going to go through trainings like this where you are utilizing your image effects to improve how you trace so that you can see, more ways to use it other than just changing colors. Okay. You're going to change your saturation on this and things like that. So see, look what I did there. By me changing that saturation and adjusting some things where there was color at, it's now all white. Any of those pixelated areas, like there's differences in color, they now become one color, which is going to make this a little bit easier to trace and not have as many like jagged lines. Okay. So I'm going to just cancel that one. You have like your gamma to make it lighter or darker. That can sometimes help as well because you, again, are eliminating some of those feathered out pixels. Okay. Okay, yeah, but we're not talking about Corel Draw. We're talking about Silhouette Studio. So all the questions that I'm going to ask is going to be based off of Silhouette Studio. You can use the edit points and break or delete those points, curve and straighten those points to fix or clean the image. Yes, you can. Oh, you use it too, and so that's why you got confused. Yep. All right, so let's see. Okay, so one of the things that I like to do is to take my saturation. Well, I'm basically going to turn it into a grayed out image. So I'm going to take my grayscale, take it all the way up. I'm going to hit apply on that. All right. I can do a trace of this to get the black. And the other thing I'm going to do is go to my invert, and I'm going to invert this to where it's like white. And then wherever there is any type of color other than white. So now I'm going to do my trace. So let's actually look. Hold on. Cancel. I'm going to go back. Go back. All right. I'm going to go straight through this without teaching it. Let's reset. Oh, wrong one. Haha. So by doing that, oh wait, I'm sorry, hold on. Let me pause this. So that took me a little under 2 minutes to go in, invert the colors, do the trace, simplify the nodes so that I did not have so many of them. But the big difference is this time, because I eliminated so many of those extra pixels, even once I simplified it, I don't have to go in and adjust so many of the nodes. Oh, yes. All right. So once you really understand like graphic designing techniques, it doesn't matter the software. My goal and what I try to teach those who desire to be on that level. If that is not your desire, if your desire is to just kind of get it done or just to be able to make shirts, if you going forward, my mission is to help those who have a desire to learn designing and understanding what it means to design, because you're not in a position right now to attend someone's university, college, trade school, community college, or whatever. You're not in that position. But you still want to get a real understanding of what it means to design, to know the why, not just the how. What I did here can be done in several softwares. But it's knowing that I didn't have to go the long way. I could have spent a long time going in and editing, like I'm going to each section and editing all these edit points. But there are ways, there are techniques that will make that easier. Learning those ways to make it easier starts with the 30-day training. I can't stress enough. Getting familiar with these tools, not being intimidated by these tools, doing simple tasks. And then you can build on that within like our master's program and understand how these, like this knowledge can help you do things faster. Okay. So now I'm going to click here. Like before, I had like extra bumps and stuff here. If I wanted to, like, this isn't that bad. Like, it's still kind of old school. Like, I'm not looking for this circle to be a complete like circle, although I could make it, a perfect circle. So even the little dip here in the nose isn't that bad. We don't have the original. We don't know what this looks like as a clean image. I've never seen this clean because this thing is like probably from the 80s or something. When this image has gone through so much resizing and resaving to where I don't even know like what the original image should look like, how smooth it should be. Maybe it was designed with a little bit of imperfections in it and abstract elements to it. Okay. So like up here, if I wanted to smooth this out, I'm just going to adjust the nodes. But this would be easy edits compared to how the other one was set up and having to edit all of those points down and remove a bunch of points and change them to curves or move all of the handles. All right. So I'm going to zoom out real quick because there are some areas that I want to fix. Like I want this to be separated. So I'm going to take this and add some color to it. Let me turn my timer back on because now we're not talking. I'm going to go through the process. I'm going to do that. All right. And so it's made up of 2 parts. So I'm going to take this part here, hold down, and this, and we're going to make it a compound path so that I can now delete points. I could use my knife tool, but I'm going to cut into the background. So I'm just going to duplicate this right on top. I'll even change the colors for visual purposes. And I'm going to double click and start here. Actually, no, I'm going to start here and delete all of these points. Oops. Okay, and then on this one, I'm going to start here and delete points there. We're going to go to the inside and delete points and the outside. Whoa. So now if I wanted these to be different colors, they're now separated to where they can be different colors. They don't all have to be the same. I can fill this in with gradients, which at the end of the day, that's what this is going to be. This was going to happen with this one. I'm going to turn this into a golden chief head. So I needed all of the parts to be separate so that I can add that gradient, or I can add chrome fill, or I can have it made like those sections separated out to where it can be done with either chrome vinyl, or I can do foiling over it, or it's just a lot of things I can do now. All right. I also need to do the same thing with this section because I may want I may want the band to be different than those top feathers. So I'm going to just fill that in with the color. We're going to hold down Alt, click. We're going to do a different color here. And I actually could have selected all of them and just did delete point also. So now they're separate and they can be different colors. I'm just going to go around this. So we have points here. This is not a point. So we're just going to add a point. Actually, I'm just going to move this down, make it a corner. And that one's going up. We're going to turn this one into a corner. Make this one a little bit more defined. And I think everything else, we have corners inside, inside, inside. I'm going to define this corner a little bit more. I like the way that rounds out. And so right now I started and stopped it. I don't have all the colors filled in, but we're at about 6 minutes right now. 5 minutes, 50 seconds. Okay. Now I'm just going to make this the exact same colors. Although this actually isn't the original color of this file. I'm going to bring in the original one. And I'm going to select Whoa. I want to actually separate this in case I wanted this part to be a different color. So I did not make that a part of the selection. And technically, if I want, it's a really easy one. I can go and take my knife tool and go through it. But I also have to remember to now on my back level layer, delete that point and then kind of clean this one up. So I'm just going to take creative liberty on that shape. For now, it is the same color. Oh, I have left off a piece here. So 8 minutes and 25 seconds. Now that the white part is gone, I can now look at this and see what areas I can improve on to bring in a little bit more detail. So if I needed some more detail, I can now do that. Depending on how you want this to look, we can go in and sharpen certain areas, like the way the nose is, we can layer it on top. The nose is curved, but there is a point right here. So if I wanted to, I can smooth that out some so it's more like the nose and it's not pointed. If I wanted this to be more of a point, I could adjust that. But just by doing those simple edits in the beginning, it made it to where I didn't have to do so many on the back end of it. And I can go in and make minor adjustments, make things like, see here, it has, oh wait, you guys can't see that. It's a little bit more elongated. So I can take this, we're gonna ungroup. And if I wanted to either select it and elongate it, or if I wanted to adjust my edit points, the first one is not too bad, but now you can fully customize this however you see fit. If I wanted to make the face, I wanted to maybe get a closer contour of the face. I'm going to select everything here, hold down shift, and we're going to go to offset, which I should have been zoomed in a little bit more. Go to corner, increase my offset. Hey, what just happened? Okay, cancel. I'm going to zoom back in. Delete. Let me undo. My offset's not playing nice. Okay, you went too far. that is somewhat where it originally is. So I'm just going to hit apply or now. And let's say I wanted to have more of the contour of the face, how it is here, where I can see the lips. I'm just going to pull that back. And see, now it's more of a contour, but I'll be able to still keep, because the offset, it didn't give me like the sharp corners for this part, which I don't really care for this. I'm going to do duplicate. I'm going to I don't really like that either. I'm going to take some creative liberty on this part of the come on now. There we go. I have to go back in there. I don't like that one either. But I want to fix. Come on, what's wrong with you? I want to fix that little point, but I'll do that afterwards. But I like the face contoured here a little bit more than the other one, but I can still have both versions, which I actually should have left the other version as well. Even in the forehead area, if I wanted more of this contour, I can do that. I'm going to turn my line color off just so that you guys can see it. So it's more of the contour of the actual face and the lips. So yeah, if I was okay with that, then I could, I'm going to select. All right, I'm going to group all of that so that I can ungroup it. I have just the background. I'm going to weld all those pieces, make it black, and send it to the back. So I've changed the contour of the face, but I can always go back to the original as well because I have it over here. Technically already, it still has its outside contours. So I'm just going to duplicate this, make it, actually, I think I did an offset on it. So I'm going to just go offset, corner, 0.075. I forgot what I made that offset, apply. And I'm going to make that black. So this is it with the original contour of the face. And then this is where you can see a more defined nose and lip area. Okay. So all in all, it definitely took less than 20 minutes to now make this where I can add gold elements. I am going to go in and update this a little bit, but just to get like the general, now I'm going to go in and really do some fine detailing. Like on this part here, it does dip in a little bit more, but we don't get that because of the pixelation. So I am going to go in and create, create those details. I want to define this area. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. So I'm going to go in and do some more minor details and just really to take it, take it over the edge and get a really, really clean look on this. All right. Any questions? Any questions? Just so that you see the difference here versus here, as far as just the color quality. If you, the darn school calling, guys, if you have not signed up for our 30-day training, sign up. If you want to be in the bachelor's program, to have the weekly sessions, the 30-day training was recorded a while ago, and some people have wanted, to have those sessions, to have that live experience. This is your opportunity to. Now, it's not going to be included in the price of the 30-day training. We're not going back over and doing it live, but our bachelor's program is starting. The first 7-8 weeks is going over the 30 days, kind of like in study session type of setup, to where we're going to reference the 30-day training and what we did in there. We're going to use the exact same worksheets in these sessions. And then the extended part of this is taking what you learned from the 30-day and then starting to apply it to design techniques. So the second half of it, the second part of it is going to be practices on things like, when you're using cropping. We can know what cropping is, but how do you use it in different designs? So how do you multiple crop? How do you, would you use crop or subtract for this design? So then you're going to start to understand that. Then the last part of it, we're going to go and actually create different types of designs and projects for the last part of the bachelor's. Master's, if you have if you've already done a 30-day training, or you feel like you have an understanding of tools and functions, and now you just need help with understanding, your design voice, how to approach designs, the questions that you should ask, your client, ask yourself, what type of images, and just really understanding how to put designs together. You guys look at my designs all the time, like, man, Professor, or some would just say Kia, like, how do you come up with these concepts? Like, how does your brain work to even think of this? That is what the master's program is going to do for you. It is going to help you find your creative voice. I am not teaching Silhouette Studio from the beginning when it comes to masters. Okay, I'm not doing that. You have to get the 30-day training. There will be a link for you to sign up to pay for the weekly session. So it's a monthly subscription to sign to attend those weekly sessions. In the beginning, it's 2 sessions per week. And then we get into the designing, it's going to be 1 that will give you time, because I know you guys are busy. You have your own orders. So when we get into the design challenges and things of that nature, there's going to be prizes for those who actually participate and get your designs and get it completed within the week's time. So you'll get the assignment, and then you'll have a whole week to work on that and maybe even do some bonus. But that's in the last part of it. But we have to build you up to that. Now, if you're in masters, we're going to go into it, designing. But it starts here. This, when you go on our website, you can break this up into payments using Sezzle, Shop Pay, or PayPal, easy payments. You can break that up. But this is required. You will not be able to sign up for the bachelor's program if you do not have the 30-day training, because this is almost like your workbook. This is what we're going to be learning from. Did you say that was a PNG? This is this one that came in. Well, this is a JPEG version. So a PNG, okay, actually this might be a PNG. Like it's probably saved as a PNG. So yeah, it is actually saved. So I'll show you here. This says a PNG file. So many people think that a PNG file automatically has to have a transparent background. PNG gives you the ability to save with a transparent background, but that does not mean that all PNGs have a transparent background. You can have something with a colored and or white background, and you can still save it as a PNG extension. So the way that this was downloaded and when this was saved, yes, it has a PNG extension to the back of it, but it does have a white outline. Now I can remove this by doing a trace and detach, but that doesn't change the fact that this is still a PNG file, even with the white background. So this is the PNG version. This is the vectorized version. When you go into, actually, even if I were to go to Silhouette Studio and I go save as, save to hard drive, and I'm just going to choose PNG and test, okay, whatever. Okay. It's going to ask me if I want to have it as a transparent background. Photoshop does that. Illustrator does that. So you have the ability to make it transparent if there's any transparent pixels there. If you don't check this on either of those softwares, it is still going to have a solid white background. That does not change the fact that it is a PNG extension. SVG is just a file extension. It's a type of vector file. Can you always remove the extra white parts from a picture? If it's just solid white, yeah. If it's just solid white, you can always remove that. I mean, even with this gray area here, if I were to just do a trace and detach and I adjust my threshold to the darkest color, which is the black, I can remove the shadow as well. So with that, just like that, well, no, I have an opening right here. So I'm going to get out of my way. You keep confusing me. I'm going to adjust that just a little bit to close off that opening that I saw right there. And I'm going to go trace and detach. It's questions like this that I definitely need for you guys to bring to our exclusive VIP group, our student union. Bring it to the bachelor's program, because if these are questions that you guys have because you don't understand that, in order for you to get clarity, you have to ask questions. You can't just jump on these trainings, jump on these live videos and, hey, whatever you teach me, I'm just here to learn, because then you're not going to know how to process it. What are you working on? What do you need to know now? Or maybe you need to ask the question so that you can get the answer in a way that's going to help you retain that information. We have to stop being afraid to ask questions and just watching and just hoping to just learn something and learn through osmosis. I just want to learn whatever you want to teach me. No, what is it that you need? We're not all on the same path. We don't all have the same desires when it comes to designing. Some people want to build up where they can like figure out how to just create this from shapes. Look at those shapes, identify them, adjust your edit points and things like that to create it from scratch. Some people are like, no, I just want to be able to creatively arrange a bunch of images, elements and things like that. Want to add text to it. But if you guys don't speak up, I don't know what you don't understand. I don't know what you want to learn, what you need to learn, because everyone is different in their journey. Like everyone's journey is different. So see, I moved that whole thing away. Oh, it was actually still open right here because a little piece of white is right there, but that's no biggie. We just come in here, double click, and delete all of these edit points to bring that back. And then I can fix and all that stuff, but I don't need to. All right. Well, I'm going to get to work because I need to now clean this up a little bit, like more from my liking, because I'm just anal like that. The average person wouldn't think anything of it, but yeah, I'm a little anal. So I'm about to go in and fix certain areas, just clean it up, make it a little bit sharper in some areas so that I can start the full on design process. And this is just one part of it. Sometimes that's what it's going to take. It's not okay, I did this, like I'm done. Like I have to do this in steps. This is one part. I had to make this a vectorized image so that I can add my gold chrome elements. And now I have to design around this and add text and add different things to it for the completed design. All right. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.